great and wonderful greetings to all, and we are here again in the Pronunciation English Language, Pronunciation Lessons, Learn English with Judy's. And of course, our topic for today is about the difference between sympathy and empathy. Yes, but first and foremost, of course, if you're still not our subscriber, don't ever forget to hit the bell button first to subscribe. And also, you can follow us in our Facebook page, Pronunciation English Language. And also, please don't ever forget to share our video. And please do hit the like for this video. Anyways, to continue, of course, our topic for today is about the difference between sympathy and empathy. Yes, actually, sympathy involves understanding from your own perspective. And empathy involves putting yourself in the other person's shoes and understanding why they may have this particular feelings, in becoming aware of the root cause of why a person feels the way they do. So what's the difference between sympathy and empathy? Yes, though the words appear in similar context, they have a different meanings. Sympathy actually constructed from the Greek sym, meaning together, and pathos, referring to feelings or emotion, is used when one person shares the feelings of another, as when one experiences sadness, when someone close experiencing grief or loss. So empathy is a newer word also related to a pathos. It differs from sympathy in carrying an implication of greater emotional distance. With empathy, you can imagine or understand how someone might feel without necessarily having those feelings yourself. For the most part, actually, these two nouns are not used interchangeably, but often we encounter them in a context where their nuance is diminished or perhaps not relevant, providing no obvious indication why one was concerned over the other. So the difference in meaning is usually explained with some variation of the following. Sympathy is when you share the feelings of another. Empathy is when you understand the feelings of another but do not necessarily share them. In general, actually, sympathy is when you share the feelings of another. Empathy is when you understand the feelings of another but do not necessarily share them. The nouns share a common root. The Greek nouns pathos, meanings, feelings, emotion, or a passion. Pathos itself refers actually to the vocation of pity or compassion in a work of art or a literature. Sympathy from sympathize, having common feelings, sympathetic, has several senses actually in the dictionary. Among them, the act or a capacity of entering into or sharing the feelings of interest of another. When we hear or sympathy, we tend to think or situations. When we tend to think of situations actually involving emotional pain. So the sym in sympathy means together or at the same time, and or at the same time and is the same Greek prefix that one finds in a synonym, symmetry, and symposium. The last one actually originally being an occasion for getting together and drinking. Empathy is understanding. The sentiments behind empathy is often presented in the familiar idiom to put oneself in another's shoes. So a major difference actually between sympathy and empathy is now long is how long each has been around compared to sympathy which first appeared in English in the 16th century, and empathy is relatively new coinage, one originating from a relatively young science psychology. So is sympathy better than empathy? That is the question. Actually, empathy and sympathy are both good. Both good traits actually to have because they offer support for people who need it. Sympathy is observation and acceptance of what someone else is going through. Empathy involves taking on someone else's feelings. Empathy is better than sympathy, so it is considered better. So example of sympathy and empathy. So we have an example here, a sentence example actually. When expressing sympathy, for example, you might say something like, I'm sorry for what you are going through. So about empathy, however, sounds more like, I understand how you're feeling. Please know that you're not alone. So that's all for now, but I hope you understand. But remember the difference between sympathy and empathy of the two words. Empathy is the more recent entry into the English language. Sympathy was in use for almost 300 years before empathy's first written record in the 19th century. You might notice that both words contain pithy actually, or contain a pathy, and that's what makes them sort of similar, or pathos. That makes them sort of similar. They share the same Greek root word, pathos, which means feelings or emotion, but also suffering or a calamity. But while both words deal with emotions, they are still very far from being synonyms. So, that's all for now. I hope you got it right. Anyways, again, if you have some questions, don't ever hesitate to inbox us in our Facebook page, Pronunciation English Language, or put a comment there in the comment section box. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you so much. And again, if you're still not our subscriber, don't ever forget to hit the bell button first and subscribe. And also, please do follow us in our Facebook page, Pronunciation English Language. And don't ever forget to share our video. And please do hit the like for this video. Anyways, thank you so much. Until the next time, keep safe and God bless. Bye-bye.